Hello class, this is Steve Rothenberg and I'm going to go over the last of the three assignments for week 5. I have the page that we need to turn to open on the screen. It's page 326. Here's a resume that we're going to create from scratch, and we're going to do so by opening Word and creating a new resume from a template. So let's do that on the page. Next page, 327, use the Origin resume template to create it. So we'll go to Word, open Word. Now Word will come up with a blank document every time, but we can select New, and then we can search for Origin resume. Hit the arrow, it'll come right up. Double click that, and now we have a resume. Notice it has my name in here because Word recognizes who I am. We're going to type in the rest of the information ourselves. But before we do that, let's change the document theme to the aspect theme. Remember, we're going to go to page layout and theme, and then these are alphabetized, so we want the aspect theme. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to start typing in the information. I'll type in, all I have to do is click in the area where it says type your address, and when it turns blue I can just type an address. So I'll type 123 Main Street, obviously a phone address, and then phone I type again in the middle of that field, and I'll type my number. Email, of course. Now I'm not going to show you how to do everything here, but basically you get the idea. So email address at cci.edu, and website I'll just put www.onlinecci.com. Hit enter, and notice it made it into a hyperlink website. So now I'm going to start typing here where it says objectives. I want to type to obtain, and so forth and so on. I'm not going to make you watch all of this, but essentially all you need to do is wherever there's a set of brackets, like here where it says type something, type degree, type list, type skills, wherever you see that, you can click in there and then just type what you see in the resume. So I'll do it quickly and then we'll come back and go on. Notice that I've proceeded a bit through here, but I'm at the point where I'm entering education, and it shows that there are 3 bullets, but there's only 1. So as you might imagine, all you have to do is hit enter, and then you can keep on going. I'm going to stop here for a second so that we can understand how to do the next step. If you notice, after this last bullet, we don't want another bullet, which is what will happen if we simply hit enter. So if we do that, we have to hit the delete key. But now we want to type in, or somehow get, Bachelor of Arts in English Literature, and I'm looking at page 326, which shows the next set of education credentials. So I want to show you something now that will help. What we essentially want is we want another one of these sections here, Master in Library of Information Science. Well, if you notice, when I click here and I go to the Styles Gallery, I'm actually this is a subsection style. So all of these items in orange are of the subsection style, and I can see that when I expand the Styles Gallery. So if I click my mouse here and I then go to Styles and I click on a subsection, I'll essentially now have exactly the kind of formatting I want, and now I can key in Bachelor of Arts in English Literature, Morgan University. And then I also need a section that looks like this. And actually I only need to key in May 2010, parenthesis May 2010, close parenthesis. Okay, and now I need to add some bullets. Well, I'll hit enter. I don't get a bullet, and that's because it turns out the bullets are also a type of section. Let's see what type of section they were. They're a list bullet section. You notice all these different types of sections. So I need to add a list bullet section. So I'm going to click my mouse here. I'm going to say add a list bullet subsection, and now I get the bullet symbol and I can start typing my information. Okay, so there's the rest of the education filled in. Let's go down to experience. We see that we're going to have to do the same kind of thing for the experience because we've got two sets of experience, and here we only have a space for one. So, and we also have two different types of sections, so when we add in our new experience, we'll have to make sure we add the section. I'll do the first one, and then we'll add the second section together. So now you see that I've got the text typed in, but notice that it's indented. So what we'll need to do is select this text, and then we can choose the increase indent, and now we've solved that problem. Now, hit enter. Let's hit enter again so we have enough space. And now we want to enter something where we can type in library page. That's going to be the same as Shelver. If we click on Shelver, we will see in the styles section, it's a subsection, so we want to add a subsection down here. So let's click down here. Let's click subsection. It's a subsection, so we need to add another subsection here. So now let's do what we need to add the next job experience library page. Notice it has to be at the same level as Shelver, and Shelver is subsection. Once we're here, we can hit enter again, and now we're going to enter a subsection. Now notice there's a number of different subsection styles. One says subsection, the other one is a subsection date, and the other one is a subsection text. We want to actually add the subsection so that when we type library page, it will be in the right color and the right font. And then we'll just type in the dates, December. Now, the next section is actually a section date. So we can't just keep typing. We have to hit, put the cursor here, and we have to select subsection date. And now we can type parentheses December 2008 to May 2010. Okay, hit enter, and what we need to do is unbold this, so let's, there we go. Now we'll hit enter. The next line has to be the same kind of formatting as this line up here. And what was this? Let's see what the right section for this was. It says subsection, so let's add a subsection down here. We'll start typing Dilton County Public Library, and then we'll type the address. And then I'll just take the bolding out, and I'll take the bolding out of here as well. Go to the end of this line, hit enter, and now I can type in my text. So I want to choose the style called subsection text. And now I can start typing. Okay, we've now completed typing everything in, and it's gone on to a second page. So we're back on page 327 in the middle of that first step. This is a long step, contains lots of sub-steps. We've typed in everything. We want to view the grid line. So let's put the grid lines back in. And we'll scroll to the top. It says so that you can see the four tables. Well, there are four tables here, and the way that you can tell there's a table are these symbols here. When I click here, I'll have selected the first table, and you can see it's just one row. If I click here, I've selected the second table, and it's this section up here at the top. The third table is the body of the letter of the resume, and the fourth table is all the way at the bottom here, and it's just the bottom couple of rows. So they want us to delete the top and the bottom tables. So to get the top table, we just have to move our mouse in the area of the top table, right click the mouse, and click delete table, and we'll just see that the top line goes away. Need to do the same at the bottom. Find the table symbol, right click the mouse, click delete table, and that goes away too. So that's the middle of the first step. I'm at the point where it says adjust the margins, spacing before and after paragraphs, and adjust table row sizes, add or delete blank paragraphs so that the resume looks like it does on page D326. Well, clearly it doesn't look exactly like it because it goes to 2 pages. So we need to get rid of some things. We need to get rid of this section here. Well, how do we do it? Let's select here, and then we just hit the delete key. That's gone. Click on the word skills, hit the delete. Actually, we'll select the whole word skills, then we'll hit the delete key. And then all we have to do here is hit the backspace button, and it'll get rid of the tab. So this is looking closer. It's still not on one page, so there are some things that we need to do to get it to be on one page, and it's really not very far away. So if we simply get rid of a space here, and I'm going to take the grid lines off so it'll be a little easier to see because we don't need to see the table anymore, or the tables. I'm just going to put the cursor here and hit the backspace button once and then twice, and to see if I can drag this up, I'm going to put my cursor here and hit the backspace button, and it's just a little bit short, so we need to find some more space somewhere. I'm going to put my cursor here and see if I can hit the backspace button to see if there's any gain of space there. There isn't. I'm going to see if I can get rid of the space here by hitting the backspace button. There, I've moved experience up, and now I've got it all on one page. There's actually some blank spaces here I can get rid of. If I left click my mouse and drag up, I see there's some blank space there. I'm going to click the delete key, and then I'm going to do it again. And now I see I've gotten rid of that second page. And I may even be able to put back a space here where I took it away from. So let's hit enter and then backspace. Nope, that sent it to another line. So I'm going to hit the undo button to get back my old format, and here it is. The middle of page of step 1 on page 327, we're still there. As far as adjusting margins, we could adjust the margin, but it looks actually pretty good to me, so I think we could leave these settings the same. And as far as the spacing, well, we just had to take a little space out of one of these sections here to get it all to fit in. So, check spelling of the resume. Well, that's simple enough. We can go to the Review tab and click on Spelling and Grammar. Shelver, it doesn't recognize, so we'll ignore it. It doesn't recognize Dilton. So everything looks good there. Change the document properties. You might recall that document properties are found by hitting the File tab and then hitting Properties and then hitting Show Document Panel, but we didn't ask you to put any information in here in particular. So we can close the document properties window. You don't need to email this to anybody. Obviously, in step 2 you don't need to do. Step 3, now we're going to save this as a web page, and we've done this before in the other assignment. So we'll do a save as. We want a single file web page. We'll just call it Steven Rothenberg. Actually, it does say to save the file name as lab 5-3 Ramirez Resume Web. So you can do that, but I'll just save it as this right now, just for ease. And I want to save it as a single file web page. Single file web page. There we go. And I'll just save it to my documents, to my downloads folder, where I put pretty much everything, and I will click save. And now it's going to tell me, bring up the compatibility checker may have a problem with some of the styles. But I'll just continue. Here is the web page, and I want to change the page color, so that's going to be on page layout. Page color, we want to change to orange. Oh, actually I've jumped down, but let's do this first. Apply orange, accent 1, lighter 80. Well, here's the oranges, accent 1, lighter 80. So that's what we want. I want to convert the email address to a hyperlink. Well, it actually already is a hyperlink, apparently, and I can tell it's a hyperlink by selecting it and going to the Insert Hyperlinks tab, and I see that it's linked up to a website, www.onlinecci.com. So that's already done. Apply the downward diagonal pattern fill. Okay, so we need to go back to the page layout. That's where the page color is. We need to go to the fill effects. we need to go to the patterns, and we need to go to something called the downward diagonal pattern. I'm looking again, it's